In today's show, making your mark in a famous Guernsey and never to be forgotten, Neil Kerley's legacy. Hi, I'm Mark Bickley and welcome to The Crows Show, brought to you by the new Roadhouse Whopper and Roadhouse Jack's fried chicken at Hungry Jack's. We're coming to you from the Triple M bunker, adjacent to Adelaide's change rooms, where through one-way glass, fans can watch players before and after games and at half-time. Also joining us, Belinda Sloan.
Vic swapping one ball for another has proved to be a winner for 4 Crows players. I'll have their story of success shortly.
Thanks, Belinda. When Darcy Fogarty joined the Crows, he came with the promise of something special. Even the jumper he was given, number 32, revived memories of 2 champions, Mark Rasciuto and Patrick Dangerfield. Holding down a regular place in the team hasn't been easy, but in recent weeks Darcy's found some good form and he saved his best to his 50th game.
Long down the line, Fogarty, yes! Everyone put your arms up, Darcy Fogarty! He just had to bring it down after that leap.
It's more so the 5th year opposed to the 50 games. I've been here a long enough time now that I sort of know the schedule, know what works for me. It gets frustrating at times when you might not be playing as well as you like and you're not really sure why. But yeah, I think there's a big element of patience there where you just need to back the things you're doing if you're doing them well, trust the players and the coaches that are around you, and yeah, just have a little bit of backing in that things will eventually click and you'll find your feet.
Contest to be won in the middle of the ground. It's all Fogarty. Goes for home. It'll be all about the bounce in slippery conditions. It gets there. Great finish.
In Darcy's case, obviously 50 games in now, he's starting to work out what his weapons are and how to utilise that from longer periods of the game. So it's his quick feet, his ability to jump at the ball, hit the contest hard, and obviously we know what he does when he gets the ball in hand, he finishes off. Yeah, just sort of changed a few things off field and got things sorted, so hopefully it keeps progressing in the right way. Because obviously at footy clubs there's a lot of emphasis on the physical side of things and the mental side sort of gets swept under. But to me, I feel, I've learnt that over the last few months that's very important into developing as well. So I've been able to work on that and identify problems that I had there. He's a guy who can jump at the football. He breaks open the game through his contest work, and he's a physical lad who can not only aerial jump at the contest, but also at ground level be able to compete. And also when he doesn't get his hands on the football, what he's doing away from the contest. So we're starting to see him work up the ground. We're starting to see him work back when the ball's not in his area. So he's getting a well-rounded game. It's not what he only does in the contest, but now it's away from the contest, which is really pleasing.
Darcy looks to have found his place at AFL level. Stay with us. After the break, Belinda gets a little bias into her story.
Most players enjoy playing another sport, but lawn bowls probably wouldn't be their first choice. However, for a group of young Crows, it was the perfect opportunity to have a bit of fun. Benny, what was your team called and who came up with the name?
Okay, so team name is the No Thumb Sharks. We were on a trip over at Kangaroo Island.
Yeah.
And we went out and caught some sharks while we were on the boat out there. We started joking about how funny would it be if you went to grab it and you lost your thumb. And the No Thumb Sharks grew from that.
So Sholly, how did the love of the round ball come about?
Look, Belle, I wouldn't call it love. I think it's a fair stretch. I think it came up by coincidence. I remember we were in the gym one day and Lockie came up to me and Davo and Strawny and sort of said, look,
How would you feel about a lawn bowls team? We joined halfway through the season and then somehow came in and won the grand final, according to our social media, but yeah.
Yeah, did you win it?
We didn't actually. I think, yeah, we finished.
You had me fooled.
Yeah, well, we had everyone fooled, I think, because we had people coming up to us like at training and stuff going, well done, and it's like, we're like, yeah, thanks, but we actually finished second last, so.
Oh, second last? I thought you were going to say second.
No.
But in the last game that we had, that everyone thought was just us versus another team, there was actually 12 other teams on the pitch. So there was 12 other teams that were playing that day, but everyone thought it was just us versus another team in the grand final because of the way I set it up.
Do you have any tips for any lawn bowls enthusiasts out there?
I do. Heavier side is the bigger circle.
Okay, right.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
I actually don't know. I'm actually not sure.
Okay, well there is a smaller and
I will tell you that there is a smaller circle and a larger circle, and you've got to bowl it to the smaller circle favouring where you want it to go, if that makes sense.
I still can't work out why you only came second last. With knowledge like that.
I know.
Murph's not here today, but out of the four of you, who takes themselves the most seriously when they're playing a game?
I think, especially when he's captain, Murph's very hard on us, and I think, you know, for a casual bowl on a Wednesday night, I don't think that's necessary. I feel personally I can't, you know, bring my game and really let loose on the lawn bowls.
Will you be back?
Another touchy subject. We're not sure whether we take our ventures elsewhere. You know, we dive into something like we take the No Thumb Sharks into bingo potentially, or you know something a bit out there, trivia. You know, something that's a bit different. We're still discussing that. We're having team meetings to see where we take the No Thumb Sharks next year.
Well, it certainly makes a change from the bruising they get in Aussie rules, Biggs. Have you ever had a go?
Yes, Belinda, I've had a go, and I'll stick with footy. Now, each week on The Crows Show, Tom Doedee and Hungry Jacks help us relive a memorable highlight through the eyes of a teammate. We call them Whopper moments. Today's player was only 16 when he saw a great showdown victory.
All right, time for another Whopper moment presented by Hungry Jacks. Very, very special guests. Patrick Pistol Parnell, how are you going?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Very excited for this. Talk us through your Crows Whopper moment.
So my Whopper moment, round 2018, showdown. Come from behind, win against Port. Josh Jenkins snapped the winner, which hit the post.
Can he go again? Can he go again? Josh Jenkins, JJ, Jerker, whatever you want to call him.
He even said himself he hit the post, so...
Yep. Yeah, he said something, what was it, my nan told me never to lie or something?
Never tell lies, and it hit the post, but it was paid a goal.
Yeah, there was a bit of outrage about that game. You were growing up, who'd you go for?
Yeah, I was a big Richmond fan, but I remember watching that game. I think you kicked the goal yourself.
I did, thank you for bringing that up. I didn't word him up on that pre-interview, by the way.
And if you thought that Port were going to run away with this, think again.
I think we trailed by 2 goals 4 minutes ago. Eddie kicked his first. And then Jenkins snapped, hit the post and caught a goal and was the winner.
And it was loud, but it was also like anger and everything filled in. You were watching from the side. Whose side did you take? Did you think Port were wrong?
No, I definitely thought it hit the post. Yeah, hit the post. You could see it deviate.
All good, mate. Thank you for joining us. That was one of the better ones because it actually had a bit of argument to it. It wasn't just a straight moment.
Thanks for that, Tom.
Classic Pistol.
Every time you attend an Adelaide Crows home game, you could score a free Whopper from Hungry Jacks. Simply download the Hungry Jacks app for your chance to win.
Now, the volume of statistics in today's game is overwhelming. So, what do coaches make of the numbers? We'll find out shortly. Welcome back. I don't know about you, but it's easy to become lost in the deluge of data that dissects the modern game. Every moment of play is reduced to a number. But are some stats more important than others? With the help of Dr. Jones and partners, let's get a clearer picture of the stats that matter.
As a coach, the most important stat is probably the contested possession. That's something that seems to not vary a whole lot week to week, but there's a lot of other stats in footy, as everyone knows. There's time in forward half, time in possession, intercept to score. There's so many things, but for us it's ultimately how do the opposition scoring, and then what can we do to stop that, and then how do we score on any given day, because every team is slightly different. So contested ball is essentially any time the ball is in a contest. So if you think about the three phases of a game, when we have the ball, when the opposition have the ball, and when the ball is in dispute. So if it's in dispute and we win that ball from a contest space, that's a contested possession. The correlation between contested possession and scoreboard not always is the case. It does depend on the type of team you're playing against and the type of team you are. So it does vary week to week, but it is a reasonably consistent statistic that does get you over the line more often than not. It can also be an indicator of attitude and desire, certainly, and it also can be an indicator of how well the opposition are going, because sometimes your attitude and desire can be at a really high level, but the opposition is just slightly better than you.
And they've done really well here. They're pressure all day.
So some of the stats that we've improved in this year at AFL level has been our time in possession. Last year we were 10th in the competition. We've improved that to 5th. So what that does is basically makes the opposition defend for longer periods, which is really important that we don't give the ball back as quickly as we did last year. So that not only gives us more chance to score, but this makes them defend for longer. So the opportunity to go forward with the ball, that's what we've improved from 10th to 5th. So ground ball and contested possession has improved dramatically. Obviously this year one of the major focuses is to be a great contested team, so to get to third in the competition in that space is a great achievement. It isn't always resulting on the scoreboard, but we know that if the foundations are set now, the rest of it will come with it.
One player who always reminded you of his stats was Big Sam Jacobs, and you can catch Sauce and Tomo on the Crows radio show every Sunday morning at 9 on Triple M.
We can't wait to see our whole Crows family when we take on Collingwood on Saturday the 16th of July.
And haven't we got some magic in store for you?
Kids, get in free.
That's right, if you're under the age of 15 you get free entry.
It's also Christmas in July.
With special food and merch for the kids, Adelaide pageant floats, face painting, and you might even spot Santa as well.
So round up the whole family and don't miss out on seeing the action live.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle has raised over $8 million for grassroots communities around Australia. Last year, one of the raffle winners from the Henley Sharks Football Club won a particularly special prize. Our cameras caught all the action thanks to Toyota.
My name's Anthony Kravinskas. I'm the head coach for the Henley Sharks under-13 football team. So tonight we're lucky enough to have two AFL players from the Adelaide Crows come out as a part of the Toyota Good Footy raffle, and we're rapt to have them out here with the boys.
I'm Stella Thomas and my son Ash plays for Henley Sharks Football Club. Last year Ash's grandfather bought tickets in the Toyota Good for Footy raffle and was one of the lucky winners of a prize. And we had the opportunity to select the Adelaide Crows to come out and help with training. So the boys are wrapped and they're out there training tonight.
It's a great benefit to have two AFL players from the Crows out here because it gives the boys an opportunity to look at some of their idols and to understand what it takes to be an AFL footballer and generally be a part of the enthusiasm they bring to the boys to pursue their football careers. The Henley Football Club is really important to our community because it creates that community spirit and it brings families together to promote boys undertaking and girls undertaking activities that make them improve in their lives and provides happiness and outlets in their day-to-day activities.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle is a free and easy way to fundraise for your local club, with 100% of the proceeds going straight to grassroots clubs around the country. Register now at toyotagoodforfooty.raffletix.com.au. South Australia's football community has certainly come together to mourn the loss of Neil Kerley. Shortly, we'll have our own tribute to one of the game's legends. Few sporting identities have commanded as much respect and admiration in this state as Neil Kerley, and that fame was just as strong in Victoria. His achievements as a player and a coach are legendary and have been celebrated since his passing last week. Thanks to Bendigo Bank, let's also reflect on his important contribution to the Crows.
We shared an office for the first 6 weeks of the Crows operation in 1991. It was a quick introduction, and one that I've got to say I was agreeably surprised as to the persona of the man. He was energetic, vibrant and enthusiastic. Neil had the background and the history and the understanding of what was required. He was just the right fit for that job at the time in putting together the squad that we had.
In the early days, Curls and Bob Hammond were out pretty well targeting everybody. They had the chance to get 10 South Australian players that might have been drafted to other clubs. I was lucky enough to be one of those 10, so Curls and Bob Hammond came into Rowan Jarman where I was working at the time, and as a lot of players will remember, it was never a question. It was you're playing, that's it. Don't argue. He was preaching to the converted, but had a very interesting way of negotiating, because there wasn't a lot of negotiation. It was just do as I say. And I would say, yes, Curls. Curls didn't have to speak, he just had to be in the room. I think that was his beauty. It was a form of intimidation. He had a football presence and had a great impact on the playing squad in that first year. And we'd had an up and down year, but Curls was a constant. He was always there, growling a few words in the background. He didn't speak a lot, but what he said was really important.
I don't think that cap of administrator, he ever felt comfortable in that role, and hence he went back and coached West Adelaide in 1992. Coaching is what he enjoyed, being in charge is what he wanted to do. He felt, he would love to have been out there telling someone to move the cones rather than him having to move them. And he had the respect of the players, and as I said, he was very important in that first year of our footy club.
Well, he was a king. He was Mr. Football in South Australia. He had this aura that you just wanted to play for him. You wanted to believe everything he said. Not all of it was true, but you wanted to believe it. Curls has just, for me, left a standard and a mark on the game in South Australia that you want to live up to, you want to uphold, and it's what makes the game so special. Those personal relationships carry on a lot longer than the games do. The games disappear and you forget them, and you might recall a result or a premiership, but you never forget the people.
My favourite memories of Neil were around state footy when Teddy Whitten and Knuckles ruled the roost. Now it's time to go looking for our crow in the crowd. If you take a photo of yourself at one of our games and post it to social media, make sure you use the hashtag WeFlyers1. Plenty of happy faces, and we can't go past you. Please email faceinthecrowd@afc.com.au with photo ID to claim your prize of 2 tickets to Toyota's exclusive Hilux Hill at Adelaide Oval. I doubt if many coaches front up each week to answer a fan's question, but that's what Matthew Nix does on The Crows Show, all thanks to Flight Centre. This time, Cage in Melbourne wants to know if Ben Keays is the most underrated player in the competition.
Kay, thanks for your question. Is Ben Keays the most underrated player? Look, I'd say not anymore. I think he's now getting the accolades he deserves, for what he is doing, and he deserves all of those accolades. He's very important to us, an outstanding leader on and off the field. He may have been underrated maybe 12 months ago, but definitely I can tell you internally he's very highly rated.
That just about wraps up The Crows Show. Remember, for the latest news, keep an eye on @TheCrows Show on Twitter, and don't forget the club's social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for your company, and together with Belinda Sloan, I look forward to joining you again next weekend on 7. Bye for now.
This program was proudly brought to you by the new Roadhouse Whopper and Roadhouse Jack's Fried Chicken at Hungry Jack's.